Okej, może dzisiaj uda się nam rozwiązać w końcu tą zagadkę śmierci Jacka Hammera. The last episode. What do you mean, the last Steel Samurai? I know it's a shock, but nothing can be done to save it now. Whoever really did kill Mr. Hammer also signed the Steel Samurai death warrant. Twitch wita YouTube. No. Also, I hear that Global Studio is going to change its programming. They're not going to make kids shows anymore. What? Why? I don't know. It's sad, but that's what Global Studios decided. Studio policy. Why aren't they going to make kids shows anymore? The studio bigwigs don't want the Steel Samurai around anymore. They want to forget all this ever happened. They want it quiet, you understand? How can they do that? What about all the kids who love the Steel Samurai? It's okay. I'm sure the kids will be fine. They'll find a new hero to follow. No, that can't be true. If the program just ends, they'll be heartbroken for sure. Wiem, jesteś szybki jak myślenie gamszu. Paul! Nick, say something. Yeah. I think evidence rather than words is called for here. Here, take a look at this. Take that! And this is... A fan collected all of these photographs. The kids love the Steel Samurai. The show wouldn't be cancelled just so some adults can save face. I would think you would understand that better than anyone. You're right. Okay, but what can I do? Well, for starters, you can tell me something. Tell me what is it that Global Studio is so intent on hiding. Tell me about this accident 5 years ago. Okay. Could you tell us what happened 5 years ago? Well, I can tell you what I've heard. Apparently 5 years ago someone died, and it was Hammer's fault. Someone died? It was an accident, of course. Anyway, the producer, Miss Vasquez, managed to hush it up. And that's the dirt she had on Mr. Hammer. And that's why Mr. Hammer would do anything Miss Vasquez asked him to do. But was it an accident, right? But it was an accident, right? Why didn't they just make it public? Well, you know, Mr. Hammer was a big star back there. They were afraid about what would happen to his career if word got out. I see. You know who knows more about this? Miss Oldbeck. She was here at the studios back then, you know. Thanks, we'll try asking her if she'll talk.
What, you're still slicking around? If you like the place so much, why don't you take over for me?
The old windbag doesn't look so good.
Everybody's doing their dearest to forget Hammer. Who do they think made Global Studios what it is today? Hammer? It's all due to Hammer.
She's starting to fourth at the mouth, Nick. Maybe we should keep a safe distance. Powiedz mi, co się stało 5 lat temu. I wanted to ask you about 5 years ago. Uh-oh. Alien mode engaged.
Who did you hear that from?
Huh?
Nichols!
Niklas? Nichols? Nichols. Nick. Penny Nichols. That assistant we talked to. Oh, right. Anyway, we heard about the accident. It was during filming with Jack Hammer. He killed a man, didn't he?
Whippersnappers! Dredging up dead on someone past like that, and the recent depart too. I suppose you think this is fun?
No, I'm just doing my job to protect Mr. Powers.
And you claim that Hammer stole Powers' costume. You expect me to believe that rubbish? Or do you have some kind of proof?
Proof that Hammer stole Powers' costume? I have proof. I'm sorry, Miss Oldbag, but I have proof. I can prove that Mr. Hammer stole Mr. Powers' costume. Mr. Powers ate a T-bone steak for lunch, correct?
Well, yes, so?
This is the plate that he used to eat the steak. There are traces of sleeping pills powder on the plate.
Nah! I bet Powers put it in there himself. Even a lightweight like him must have trouble sleeping sometimes.
Except I have proof that Mr. Hammer put the pills in. It's the bottle. This bottle contains sleeping pills. Mr. Hammer's fingerprints were found on the bottle.
Alien mode engage again.
O, uspokoiła się?
I see. Poor Hammer. You did wrong, Hammer. Rest your soul.
Miss Oldbag?
Okay, you win. I'll talk. I'm tired, see? Tired of holding it all in.
Miss Oldbag.
You're right. 5 years ago there was an accident. A fatal accident. What's worse, a paparazzi took a photo of it. That photo, well, it caused quite a stir. And guess who made it all better? Vasquez.
Mortal Kombat Oldbag? Kurde.
She has ties to the mafia.
Uh-oh.
She silenced that paparazzi. That was the beginning. After that, she became a force to be reckoned with here at the studio.
I see.
But you have to understand, poor old Hammer never meant any harm to anyone.
Miss Oldbag.
Hold on a minute.
Poor Miss Oldbag.
Here, take this.
A photograph. Jaj. No to już wiemy, czemu jest wygięta ta barierka. Grałoby się, żeby zobaczyć, jak sztuczną szczękę wyrywa ramię bohaterom? Jak sztuczną szczęką wyrywa ramię bohaterom. Właśnie sobie to wyobraziłem. Wait a second. This is the picture. Is this the trailer in Studio 2?
Hammer was supposed to fight with a bad guy on the top of those stairs there. He pushed the other actor and the man fell onto the flower box fence.
But how did you get this?
It was a long time ago. I don't feel much like talking about it.
Chwila, czy ona była tym paparazzi, który zrobił to zdjęcie i została zmuszona, żeby pracować jako ochroniarz? Zaczyna być ciekawie. Nawet nie wiesz, jak się teraz chichrasz. Jak pan Edgeworth. Tysk, tysk, tysk. 5-year-old photo added to the court record. Shows an accident involving Jackhammer. Okay. Think back, Nick, to the day of the murder. Mr. Hammer put on the steel samurai costume. Then he left from here to go to Studio 2. Right. But why? I wonder if someone called him. Like the director or the producer. Dobre pytanie. O, jest i pani D. Vasquez. Hey Nick, it's Miss Vasquez. Hello. Hello. Leo. Maya, you should at least try to be polite. I'm watching the clouds. The fuck? That's all she had to say, apparently. Excuse me, Mr. Hammer came here on the day of the murder and... Shh! Perhaps you didn't hear me. I'm watching the clouds. I'm not interested in talking to you. Do something, Nick. She's really tricking me off. Oh dear. Will Powers. Mr. Powers wasn't the killer. You don't have to cancel the Steel Samurai. I think I'm tired of the Steel Samurai. You did it. Nick, she did it. She's the killer. My fake blood speaks to me. I know it. Oh dear. To się może okazać prawdą. Director Manila. I was wondering if you could tell me about Mr. Manila. If we must talk about that man, perhaps you could talk about it in the trailer? By yourselves? X-Ray Oldback rzuca latarką w przeciwnika. Latarka świeci, a następnie wybucha. Co? To może od razu niech rzuci dynamitem, a nie latarką. Wasn't the assistant cleaning up yesterday? Funny, it still seems pretty messy in here. I guess she was still on a high from getting that rare card she needed. It looks like they were designing a set to use for the Steel Samurai. They've got some figures for how much the set costs. I can't believe they spent that much money. Huh. The glass is frosted. Tutaj się nic nie zmieniło. Może ktoś coś wrzucił do śmietnika. Ona nie umie obsługiwać komputera? To staruszka. A, ona nie umie obsługiwać komputera. No dokładnie, więc gdzie tam latarka? Nothing in here that could be a clue. Just some paper cups and crumpled documents. Huh. This is where they had a meeting. There are documents and paper scraps scattered around. An old movie poster. No to już było. Czyli nie ma, tu nie ma nic nowego, okej? Za to tu jest coś. Don't get too close, that fence look dangerous. Myślałem, że ktoś coś powie na ten temat, no ale widzę, że nie. Może ktoś próbował coś spalić? An incinerator, apparently they just put this one in. It's clearly covered in scud, they must not clean it much. To już też było. A co jeśli pokażę ci to zdjęcie? She's not even looking. Where? What? Where did you get that? Well. Old bag. Old? She means the security lady, Miss Oldbagnik. Right, anyway. Miss Vasquez, you hid this incident from the press, didn't you? And you use it to control Mr. Hammer. The wind. Da? It's gotten stronger, don't you think? The wind. Mam wrażenie, że ona zażywa niezłe środki psychotropowe. Najpierw oglądała chmury, teraz się rozczula nad wiatrem. Your conversation interests me. Let's talk about it more inside the trailer. Nick, she went inside the trailer. To też chodźmy do środka w takim razie. UK. Well then, what was that you were talking about? Why is she so eager to talk all of a sudden? Miss Vasquez, you were using that accident. You were blackmailing Mr. Hammer so you could control him, weren't you? That's why he was doing kids shows for petty change. So I'm a blackmailer now. Albo naoglądała się Trumpa i chciała też stworzyć swój styl bytu? Kto się naoglądał Trumpa? Ta Vasquez? Well, that's what it was, wasn't it? I mean, sure it was an accident, but you used it to drag Mr. Hammer down from his rightful place as a star. Oh. I haven't pulled anyone down from anywhere. Mr. Hammer's career went sour of its own accord. But you were the cause. You pursued him, and to think it was just an accident. Excuse me. What is it all about? You kept saying accident, accident. How are you so sure? Jak to jest, że oni wszyscy mają szare oczy? Jeszcze nigdy nie widziałem kogoś, kto ma szare oczy. No może w jej przypadku to jest bardzo, bardzo jasny brązowy, no ale... Wszyscy mają szare oczy i podwójne te źrenice. To jest w ogóle dziwne. Must I spell everything out for you? Think. What would it be if it wasn't an accident? Oh. No. No way! You mean Mr. Hammer did it on purpose? That is what I mean. A się zmienił jej wyraz twarzy nagle. Where's your proof? Can you prove it? Just think. Would he have let me run his life for 5 years over a mere accident? And I ran him hard, believe you me. Believe you me! Bardzo po angielsku to jest. Mówi jak Yoda trochę. But the security lady said it was an accident. Oh, well, she was a big fan of hammers, you see. She jumped on the reporter who brought that photo into the studio. She wrenched it out of his hands, she did. Gave him a few bruises too. So that's why she had the photo. Czyli moja teoria nie była prawdziwa, okej. She's an old fool. Of course all the reporter would need is the negatives. He could have made a copy. But he didn't. The only copy of that photo is the one you hold. Give it to me now. What? This is a valuable evidence, boys. Oh! Who are they? Professionals. They're good at erasing various things. What do you think? Would you like to be erased? What? The trial ends tomorrow? How unfortunate. It's a shame you'll have to miss it. Tell me why. Why do you want this photograph so badly? This is Mr. Hammer's dirt, no? Why should Di Vasquez care about it all? At all. I'm sure you'll have plenty of time to think about that where you're going. So long, friends. Boys, erase away. No!
Gumshoe, hold it right there. I heard everything, Paul. Di Vasquez, you're coming down to the precinct with me now.
Psst. Nie zauważyłeś, że ona ma 4 gości, którzy prawdopodobnie mają broń przy sobie i wyglądają na zaprawionych w boju. Not bad. Very well. It appears this contest will be decided tomorrow then, in court. I'll be looking forward to it. Czyli ona będzie ostatnim świadkiem.
Hey, you okay, Paul?
Każdy detektyw ma przy sobie broń? Tak, ale jest 4 na 1.
Sorry I was a little late with my entrance. I don't get many chances to practice that sort of thing.
Detective Gumshoe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was really scared.
Don't mention it, Paul. Just doing my job.
Detective Gumshoe?
Sorry, just I wanted to say that line ever since I became a detective.
To nie jest film, Gumshoe.
Okay, I got one more job to do today. I'm sure we'll run into each other again soon.
Well, Nick, it looks like we're getting close to the bottom of this. Znając Gumshoe zapewne nie naładowaną. Znając Gumshoe to na pewno ją zapomniał, chciałeś powiedzieć. And who's at the bottom? Di Vasquez. Di Vasquez? To be continued. Tak, chcę zapisać. O. 20 października, 10 rano. Rubber, yep. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Today will be the final day of this trial. Ho ho ho. Nawet jakby ją wziął z powrotem, to by zapomniał ją naładować też, prawda? I hope both the prosecution and the defense will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statements. In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory for this case. He claims that the scene of the crime was in fact Studio 2. Today I will call on people present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear. Very well. Edgeworth seemed a bit on edge today. Rubble, yep. You may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls Miss D. Vasquez to the stand. Miss D. Vasquez is a producer who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. Z papierosem ją wpuścili? Znaczy z fajką. Will the witness state her name and occupation? D. Vasquez, I'm a producer for Global Studios. On the day of the murder, you were in the trailer in Studio 2. As everyone here knows, yes? I dislike needless banter. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here. Edgeworth chyba nie lubi, jak się do niego tak mówi. Very well, Miss Vasquez. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder. Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay. Right. If she's guilty, I'll catch her with her pants down, so to speak. Okej. Złapiesz ją ze spodniami w dół. Ciekawe. Fajka nie zawiera tytoniu w swoim składzie, a tytoń jest jako dodatek. Jezus. I entered the trailer, a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 sharp. It ended at 4. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so I went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30 we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Sal and I ate a T-bone steak on the table in front of the trailer. We found Hammer's body later, when we all went to Studio 1. That's all. I have a question about one part of your testimony. You were fatigued, so you had Sal take you? The van. There's a van at the Studio 2. No to właśnie się pogrążyła, bo przecież droga była nieprzejezdna przez tą głowę małpy. Jak mogła jechać tam vanem? I had him take me in that. I thought it might be a risky to walk. What with that monkey's head toppling over? Manela used this van to drive Vasquez to Studio 1 after the meeting in the trailer. Huh? Jak oni umieli tamtędy przejechać? I see. Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. This is the final battle, Nick. Let's do it. Okay. To nieugięta logika. By yourself. Yes. And you didn't stop in at the employee area. No. Are you always this terse? Bardziej Spartan. Ona ma spartański sposób mowy. Odpowiada zwięźle na temat i bardzo krótko. Yes. Oh dear. The meeting began at 12, okay? Did no one leave during the meeting? No one. Come on, let's talk a bit more about that. The witness did not come here to engage in idle conversation. Stop interrupting the testimony. The same could be said to you, Mr. Edgeworth. And please stop banging on your little desk, it hurts my ears. When exactly was that? I've forgotten. Maybe you could try remembering? No. The meeting ended at 4 and the rehearsal was scheduled for 5. I would think it was between those times. You would think? Come on, all you did was state the obvious, Edgeworth. I was fatigued. Tutaj się zaczyna. Hold on. You had Saul take you. What does that mean? No to samo pytał już sędzia. It means what I just said. I had Saul take me in the studio to van. Oh, right. At 2:30 we took a 50-minute break. Yep. And what were you doing during that time? Don't hit your desk. It irritates me. Następny. Yeah, Mr. Wright. Oops. It was a 15-minute break. Sal and I ate T-bone steak. Do you have someone who can verify this? Sal? No, I mean someone else. One person is enough. If she committed murder during that break, she wouldn't have had time to eat a T-bone steak. If I had some evidence that proves she didn't eat that steak... Well, Nick, find anything? I kind of wish she'd said a little more. It's hard, I think she's pretty used to being the boss. But I'm sure you'll find some kind of contradiction in what she said somewhere. Edgeworth, mistrz samozaorania, tak. A, to był koniec, tak? Co my jej możemy pokazać? Block the path to the scene of the crime between 2:15 and 4. Sal. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. Spróbujmy. Nie. The witness statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor. I'm sorry, but I can see nothing faulty. Unfortunately, I will have to penalize you, Mr. Wright. I must be on the wrong track. Jakie mamy dowody w ogóle? Mamy mapę, mamy samurai spear, mamy to zdjęcie. Manella used this van to drive Vasquez to Studio One after the meeting in the trailer. Czy ja mam to zamiast tej zablokowanej drogi mam to jej pokazać? No przecież ta droga była zablokowana aż do 4, tak? Zapiszmy. No. Gdzie było to na ostatnim? Sal and I ate T-bone steaks. Na tym ostatnim było coś, że jakbym umiał udowodnić, że ona nie zjadła tego steka. Tylko jak ja mam to udowodnić? O. Do you have someone who can verify this, Sal? I mean someone else. One person is enough. She wouldn't have had time to eat a T-bone steak. If I had some evidence that proof she didn't eat that steak. Ale nie mamy żadnego dowodu na to, że ona nie zjadła tego steka. No bo przynajmniej ja nie widzę żadnego dowodu, jeżeli go mamy nawet. Dobra, muszę zrobić przerwę na łazienkę, no bo po 3 butelkach piwa już mnie rozrywa od środka. Także ZW. Okej. To się nazywa szczanie. Aż się czuję z kilo lżejszy. Mam pokazać talerz, ale talerz jest odnośnie tego, że znaleziono na nim ślady tych tabletek nasennych. To nie ma nic wspólnego z nią. To jest dowód, który jest powiązany z tym, że Powers poszedł na tą swoją drzemkę, żeby mógł Hammer mu ukraść kostium. Ale możemy spróbować. Zapiszemy grę. The fuck? Ale co to ma wspólnego z nią? As I thought. You claim you ate a T-bone steak. Yep. But I say you did not. What's with this now, Mr. Wright? Look at this. It's a plate. This plate was on the table in the employee area. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind. Mr. Wright, need I remind you it was a T-bone steak? Mogła spalić przecież w piecu, co nie? Ale co mogła spalić? O co ci chodzi? Bo nie rozumiem. Co ma wspólnego talerz? To właśnie, to co Edgeboard teraz chce powiedzieć. Co ma wspólnego talerz Powersa z nią? Bo to jest talerz Powersa z tymi tabletkami nasennymi, który został znaleziony w tej strefie dla pracowników, employee area, a oni byli w Studio 2. Co ma ten talerz wspólnego z nią? Po prostu nie rozumiem logiki tej gry. Może się za chwilę dowiem, może Phoenix mi to wyjaśni. Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Miss Vasquez and Mr. Vanilla ate at a table outside the trailer. Yet there were no bones left on the plates. The plates were bare. Miss Vasquez? Tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? I think I know how. You ate the bone too! Tak! You ate a boneless steak, you didn't eat the steak. You didn't eat any steak during that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere, like that incinerator. Niezłą minę zrobiła na chwilę. Gdzie? I see. Ale Manela też jadł steka. Manela też nie zostawił kości? O co tu chodzi? O. No tak, pusto. Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? Meeting the Steel Samurai. She was meeting with the Steel Samurai. Tylko ona stoi. Order. Are you saying... Yes, Your Honor. As Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak, she ran into the Steel Samurai. Manela zjadła, Vasquez spaliła. Manela zjadł swoją kość. No w sumie, sądząc po jego posturze, to jest prawdopodobne. And then you did it. Yep. You killed him with your own hands. Mr. Wright, isn't that a little presumptuous? Jakkolwiek się to wymawia. What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it? Yes. Fascinating. And here I was worrying that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I. Any day, Vasquez. Good luck, Nick. Let's see. What was that murder weapon again? Oh, yes. Samurai spear. Yes? I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How could I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon? You couldn't, could you? I don't know. I think you could. I think, tak, już zaczynam mówić po angielsku od tego czytania po angielsku. I think that option 2 is the correct one. Myślę, że opcja druga jest prawdziwa. Nie mogła, bo ona nie użyła tej włóczni, tylko myślę, że stało się to samo, co się stało na tym zdjęciu. Że popchnęła go albo coś i on się nadźgał na tą obręb, na ten płotek przy tych kwiatach. Ale zrobimy save'a. You couldn't, could you? I think you would have a great deal of difficulty using that as a weapon. Pretty much anyone would. Huh? You see? Yes. However, that has no bearing on this case. Meaning? The samurai spear was not the murder weapon.
What?
Mamy ją. What is the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body. I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that the samurai spear was not used as the murder weapon. Co, to zdjęcie mamy pokazać? Chyba. Wrong, Mr. Wright. But I haven't said anything yet. I know you well enough by now to know when you're going to present the wrong evidence. I can sense it too with my fey blood. Okay, so I picked the wrong evidence, enough with all the sensing, right, okay. Here's the real evidence, Your Honor. Co, sama włócznia, bo jest złamana? A break in the shaft has been mended with duct tape. Włócznia stalowego samoja była złamana, rączka była sklejona taśmą i by mogła się złamać. Okej, no to było moim drugim pomysłem, także... I present my proof, the so-called murder weapon. But that is the murder weapon! Not so fast. Remember that this spear broke during the morning action scene run-through. But someone fixed the spear. It was the security lady. She fixed it with a duct tape. Now tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who is wearing a thick costume with this through the chest? Yep. Order. Yep. Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're... Silence. I'm the one testifying here, and I will be heard. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're saying? If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell what was. How was Hammer killed? Well, Mr. Wright, can you tell us what weapon was used to kill Mr. Hammer? I can tell you? Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was? I'm afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded, Mr. Wright. Very well, let's see this murder weapon then. Co, teraz mamy te zdjęcie pokazać? Look at this photo. What is this? Why that's Jack Hammer standing at the top of the stairs. Rubber. Yep. Order. If I cannot have order, this trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright, what is this all about? This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was a close-kept secret at the studio. What does this have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it? See the fallen man in this photo? See how the fence post pierced him through the chest?
What are you saying?
Yes. What happened 5 years ago happened again! Has happened again! Ha! Yep. Mr. Wright, continue. Jaka nuta. It's 2:30 p.m. on the day of the murder. Miss Diva's kiss meets Jack Hammer outside Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence. Just like Mr. Hammer had himself done 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say. Fajna mina.
In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way that he caused another man to die. 5 years ago.
Precisely. Ironic, isn't it? Haha. Very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my script writing stuff. You deny that what I say is true? Mr. Wright, let's say for the sake of argument that Hammer died at the trailer as you say. Yet the body was found at Studio 1, was it not? And in the evil magistrate costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio 1? Nie! Poprosiłaś Manellę, żeby cię podwiózł vanem, w którym było ukryte ciało! And returned to the trailer all in the space of a 15-minute break. How could I have disposed of the body? The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jack Hammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio 1 and placed inside his costume? There wasn't enough time. Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt with the body? I bet she could move it, she couldn't deal with it, she had another way. Włócznia jest zbyt ciężka, zbyt cienka, żeby zrobić tak szeroką ranę? Tego nie wiesz, nie było powiedziane. Nie było żadnego porównania. She had another way. What if she had another way to carry the body other than with her own hands? For instance? Actually, for that matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes.
Yep.
And there was a way for you to carry that body. Interesting. Let's hear it then. Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body. By the van.
Yep.
Miss Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio 1 and you used the studio van to do it. Ha! Yep. Recall your testimony. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There was a van there, right? I had Sal drive me. Use the van to carry the body to Studio 1. Then, before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate costume. Huh! Objection. Hold on, Wright. Don't forget it was Sal Manella that drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manella was a conspirator? Of course he was. Of course he wasn't. Of course he wasn't. Ha! So without Mr. Manella noticing anything, she put the body in the van. Then managed to put the body into the costume? Are you seriously suggesting that is possible? Of course I'm not serious. Huh? I was kidding, to lighten up the proceeding. Lighten? You can't lighten up a murder! Mr. Wright, the court requests you refrain from making claims in jest. Yes, Your Honor. Of course Salmonella has to be the conspirator. The body had to be placed in the van and put in the costume. There's no way Miss Vasquez could have done that alone. Also, don't forget that they had to dispose of the steel samurai costume. They had to, because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue? No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. I lose, you win. It was fun. I win! Nastała grobowa cisza. w całym pokoju nastała grobowa cisza. So, what happened next? No brawo! Trochę za wcześnie! Jeszcze 40 minut.
A to nie przyjdziesz z nami posiedzieć?
Zaraz przyjdę, już go skończę. So, what happened next? Don't question me. Don't you have anything to say? What would you like me to say? Huh? I lost? Something like that? I just said that. Wait, so you mean Diva Skis, so it was you? You killed Jackhammer. Szybki jesteś. Who can say? Huh? Are you sure I did, Mr. Wright? We just engaged in a battle of wits. And the result of that battle, you proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer. Right. But that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright. What? Rubber. Yep. Order. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Of course, it's as witness says. Certainly, it does seem very likely she did it, but there's no proof. Edgeworth isn't sure. Well, I came here as a witness today. If you have no more questions, I'll be leaving. What do I do now? Testify again. Yep. I'd like you to testify again. Testify again? Now when to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if I were to testify again, what's the point? I can only say what I said before. The truth, Mr. White. I already said all there is to say. What would happen if I said it again? You'd ask the same questions, get the same answers. A waste of time. Damn! Damn! To come so far only to fail. Rubber, yep! As it seems there are no further questions, I would like to end the cross-examination of the witness, Miss Vasquez. The fuck? Edgeworth złożył sprzeciw? Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honor. I didn't. I see. Very well. Your Honor! I request that the witness testify again. You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness. I just want to hear your testimony again. Does this make any sense to you, Your Honor? I don't see that we have anything to gain by repeating the last several minutes. Mr. Edgeworth, I too see little point in making Miss Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly did you want her to testify about? Well, yes, Indeed. Verily, I say ergo. Yep, I want to hear about what happened after they found the body. After they found the body? Very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter. Huh. Nick, why did Edgeworth... Who knows? He probably realized she did it too. But, wasn't he the one that said he always gets a guilty verdict? After all that, Edgeworth. After finding the body. Jesus. To jeszcze nie koniec. No dobra, przeciągniemy ten odcinek, żeby skończyć w końcu tą sprawę. I was with Saul and Oldbag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police, then Powers showed up. The security lady, Oldbag, was quite agitated, pointing at Powers saying he did it. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. Then I went home. I see no issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Okay, Nick, we're close, real close. She may be acting tough now, but if you put her on the spot, she's sure to flatter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick. Right. I was with Saul and Oldberg. Overlit. What time was that? We were to meet at 5 for the rehearsal, so I'd say it was then. When exactly did you and Mr. Manella arrive at the studio? About 10 minutes before. I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes, mind you. Press harder? Where were the other employees when you get to the studio? They weren't there yet. Well, then you could have put Hammer in that costume with Salmonella's help. Oh, what did I just say? Did I not just say I wasn't stuffing any bodies into any costumes? You should try to listen to what people are saying, boy.
boy?
The witness will continue her testimony. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. Przed chwilą mówiła, że nie było nikogo, a teraz mówi, że Mr. Powers was taking a nap, correct? So he says... Did no one go to call him? Remember...
Remember what?
There was a dead body lying in front of us, yet you expect me to be calm? You certainly seemed calm enough when I accused you of murder. Sign. Press harder.
Wait a second, wouldn't that be the other way around?
The other way around?
You discovered a murdered body and one person was missing, right? Wouldn't you normally go looking for the missing person?
I have to agree with the defense on this one. Well, Miss Vasquez? Logically speaking, perhaps. But no one there was thinking very logically, I assure you. Also, without his still samurai costume, Powers doesn't really stand out. We often let him out on the bus when shooting at locations. No one noticed he was missing.
Poor Powers!
Well, I suppose that explains that. Very well, Miss Vasquez, you may continue. I immediately called the police. What was everyone else doing at this time? No one said a thing. It was silent, completely silent. So we stood there until Powers finally arrived at the scene.
Sorry, I'm late.
Then silence, dead silence. Tak jak na tej rozprawie. Silence. Hey Nick, why is everyone so quiet? Someone should do something to lighten things up. The security lady, Oldback, was quite agitated, yeah. Oldback, the security lady. Why did the security lady think Powers had done it? She said because she saw him going toward the studio. Right, the Steel Samurai. Did the detective arrest Mr. Powers based solely on the security lady's word? Perhaps not. She seems to have also given the detectives that photograph. Of course, I had all this after the fact. That photograph, meaning the one taken by the security camera. She's not knowing for exhibiting the best sense of judgment when it comes to hammer. I don't think there's anything in there I can use. I asked to be left out of the proceedings.
You asked to be left out?
Yes. It seems that everyone else was questioned. And I'm really not fond of that sort of thing.
But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question.
Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that, since we were in a meeting. There was no way we could have been involved, thus they covered for us.
Covered for you? Or covered it up for you?
There must have been a lot riding on it with all those bigwigs at the meeting. I'm sure her professionals helped convince everyone they didn't require questioning. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. The script and your direction notes? Yes, they're quite viable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen. No, I guess not. Wait a second, I thought you came to Studio One for a rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes? Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehaze anything. Why? There was a murder after all. Who could think of a rehazing after all? Skąd ona wiedziała... Chwila, skąd ona wiedziała, że było morderstwo zanim się dostała... Oh yeah, I guess... Very well, Miss Vasquez, please continue. No właśnie! Your Honor! I have an objection to the witness' last statement. On to zajarzył, a Phoenix nie. What the fuck, nawet ja to zajarzyłem. Think! Miss Vasquez said she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have had to know about the murder before going to Studio One. Sama się wkopała. Najlepsze jest to, że jak się mówi na prosecutor po polsku? Prawnik to jest the defendant. Lawyer inaczej. A on jest... Boże, wypadło mi z głowy. Prokurator, właśnie, dziękuję. Order. Mr. Edgeworth. What you have just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or are you thinking of a career change to defense? I appreciate the concern, Your Honor. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Yep. Now, Miss Vasquez, do you have an explanation? I can't believe Edward is helping me. Huh. So the prosecution is in cahoots with the defense. What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there will be no rehearsal. Very well, the witness will change her testimony to reflect this reason. I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. Skąd to wiedziałeś, skoro nie było cię? How did you know about the injury? How did I know? Sal. He told me. Sal the director, You have to find something to peg this on her here, or everything we've done till now will have been wasted. I believe in you, Nick. Go get them. Get her raczej. Czy my mamy jakiś dowód na to, że ona nie mogła wiedzieć o tym? I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. Tutaj ją musimy przycisnąć, tylko czym? I nic, żaden z dowodów, które mam, nie wskazuje na to, żeby ona nie mogła wiedzieć o tym. To zdjęcie? Nie. Nic, zrobimy save'a. Będziemy próbować wszystkiego, aż trafimy. Zacznijmy od talerza. Nie. Nie zgasła muzyka. Zdjęcie? Zdjęcie z jakiegoś powodu. You knew that Hammer was injured. Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the steel samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers, not Jack Hammer. Nie zajarzyłem tego. What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Yes, Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in this photo, but that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Pretending. One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Aha! Nie zajarzyłem, że ona mówi o Hammerze, a nie o Powersie. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured? Huh? I already said it was Sal who told me. That's right, he must have gotten it wrong. I think not. Mr. Manella was at the run-through at the morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happened. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez, you saw Hammer limping. Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manila. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes. Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured? Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Ah. And when was he doing this? Well, it would have to been after he put on Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2, where he was murdered. Exactly. Yep. Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in that Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning. Huh? Rubber. Yep. Order, I will have order. Witness, can you refute this claim? Yeah, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez. Very well. I have a question for you. Why are the real killers always so persistent? Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. Nothing. Yes, you would need a motive. Why would she have killed the victim? Zdjęcie jej musimy pokazać. Prawdopodobnie to Hammer... To ona była winna tego wypadku i winę zrzuciła na Hammera. Na tym zdjęciu, gdzie jest pokazany Hammer i ona i to ciało nabite na ten płotek. Prawdopodobnie to ona była winna obydwu morderstw. Is there a reason it is unclear to this court? If there is a reason, it is unclear to this court. Does the defense have anything to say on the matter? Ho ho ho. In other words, can you prove she had a motive? Okej, zróbmy save'a. Jeszcze raz. Of course I can prove it! Okay. I have proof and I'll show it to you. I present to the court evidence as Miss Vasquez's motive to this murder is the picture. This is my proof. Zobacz na jej minę na tym zdjęciu. Ona wygląda jakby właśnie... Oh my god, co ja zrobiłem? This is the photo from before. Yep. This photo reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With Dee Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial. It began on that day 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident participated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. His guilt weighted him down, no doubt. However, you, Dee Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change. Bringing us to the present day and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate. Yes, undoubtedly, it was a constant source of shame for the ex-star. One moment, Mr. Wright. We are talking about motives here, yet you have only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if it was Mr. Hammer who had killed Dee Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Miss Vasquez have? Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have had no reason to kill Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. And I never get rid of a useful man. Is a policy of mine. Mr. Wright, please explain Mr. Vasquez's motive for the murder. She had no motive, reveal evidence. She had no motive. Bo to on chciał się rozprawić z nią, a ona w obronie własnej zepchnęła go z tych schodów i go zabiła. Myślę, że to było na takiej zasadzie. Zapiszemy grę jeszcze raz. She had no motive. She had no motive, Your Honor. What's that now? It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. All Miss Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense. What's that now? It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez. What? What? Rubble, yep. Your Honor, Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Power with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the steel samurai costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking he was Powers. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill Dee Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him all those years. Aż złamała swoją fajkę. So you did it, didn't you? Yes, I am guilty. It was me. Someone call an ambulance. There's blood everywhere. We're too late. Ah, Miss Vasquez. What happened here? Manuel fell from the trailer stairs. Manuel? To jest sprzed 5 lat, okej. Manuel! Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm. No! How could this... It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene and... No, Manuel! Don't touch him, Miss Vasquez. Czyżby to był jej kochanek? No! Please don't die. Please. Jaka uśmiechnięta nagle. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose again. Mr. Edgeworth, where's the Vasquez? In the waiting lobby, Your Honor, as calm and uncollected as ever. I see. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? It appears you have brought about yet another miracle. Thank you, Your Honor. I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent, that he should be found so in only natural, not a miracle. Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, not guilty. Jak on stoi! Od kiedy konfetti jest puszczane na sali rozpraw, kiedy ktoś jest zakrzyknięty niewinnym? This is all. This court is adjourned.
I don't know what to say. Thank you so much.
I'm just glad you're okay.
Yes, but it's sad. I know that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez, but to think that he tried to frame me for the murder, it makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright?
Huh?
Tell me, why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me?
I don't know, show evidence. Well, this is what I think. Mr. Hammer wanted to put the blame on you because... Because he was the villain. It's because you were the Steel Samurai.
Because I was the Steel Samurai?
Mr. Hammer was a big star once, but he was reduced to acting in a kids show and as a villain to boot. The kids loved the Steel Samurai, and so he hated you.
I think I understand. He could have just told me. I would have changed places with him anytime.
I think you're missing the point.
Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over.
So am I, so am I. Congratulations, VP. Mówiłem, gwiazdy są dziwne, tak. Prawda.
Oh, hehe. Thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume and... Is something wrong?
No, of course not. Ah! Nick! Edgeworth! Pierwszy raz go widzimy twarzą w twarz.
Say something, right?
I'm not good at small talk. Huh? What?
That was too bad, Edgeworth. You don't waste any time gloating, do you?
No, I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in.
Pleased to meet you, I'm Powers, sniff. Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers.
Liar.
Right. I must say, I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years.
Meet again?
However, in retrospect, I would have been better we had not met. Thanks to you, I am saddled with unnecessary feelings.
Unnecessary feelings?
Yes.
Unease and uncertainty. Aren't those kind of necessary?
They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix Wright. Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you.
Okay.
Mr. Wright, was that guy your friend?
What? Friends? As if they're rivals, right, Nick? For now we are, I guess. Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? Come on, Nick, tell me, what's the deal with you and Edgeworth? Aha. Dobra. Ale ten odcinek ma już 1,5 godziny, także rozwinięcie tego zostawimy sobie na następny raz. Ja tu zrobię save'a. I podziękuję wam wszystkim za uwagę. Dzięki, że byliście razem ze mną. Ja tymczasem idę świętować Sylwestra. Papa, żebyś zdążył pójść do rodzinki na Sylwestra. No dokładnie. Dzięki, że wpadliście i zapraszam ponownie jutro o godzinie prawdopodobnie też 18. Na razie.